now that we all have access to Fami, I'm curious how many people are going to be reckless enough to try her in ranked RTA. If you guys are not familiar with what Fami does, she's the only unit in the game currently at the time that I'm recording this to have a crit damage leader skill 25%. This third skill, Critical Arrow, is actually the same as the third skill for Chris, Critical Arrow, the other light magical archer. However, the second skill is not the same. The second skill for Chris is damage based. It's single target snipe, big damage based on her attack speed. This one is kind of similar to, not the same, but it's similar to the water one, the water regular magical archer, and also the dark regular magical archer. Shoots wedged arrows at all enemies, decrease their attack speed for 2 turns. If you get a critical hit, increases your critical rate by 50%. The other ones don't have that same thing. These ones are not quite the same. This doesn't have any critical rate boost. None of these. These are just the regular wedge arrow, and the other one is the light wedged arrow. Oliver first pick because you basically have to. So 2 speed leads, 2 units potentially on Swift. Chandra can be on Swift. Verisa can also be on Swift. Water Vampire Fami. Please win. This might be a Water Vampire spotlight. I am equally happy about, I might be even more happy about the Water Vampire. They didn't go for the skill 3, okay. Oh, they didn't want to get revenged. That's what it was. They didn't want to get revenged. Okay, Critical Arrow into Vertiheal, and he is done. What do you guys think about this? If you didn't notice already, the teal resistance. My wife didn't know what I was talking about. She's like, teal resistance, and I'm like, explain to her. I'm like, it's nice to see what, like, you know, for me, I'm always getting everything resisted. But I'm like, it's nice to see what's going to be, or what gets resisted. I also really do like this, this indicator that shows what units are getting turns next. Do they stun? Oh, they're just going to go for the AoE. Just going to go for the AoE? It's really nice, though. Both of those are really nice quality of life improvements. I did not think that I would care about them as much as I do. But it is really nice to see what gets resisted, especially if you're using something like Zyros or Shungpung and you're like, oh, I don't know if he got cooled down. It was kind of hard to see because there's so many things when using AoE skill 3. There's so many things that can happen at the same time. So look at that, is beautiful. I really appreciate that he is number 1 using Liesel, number 2 winning with Liesel, and I don't want to see him get possibly soloed by Riley because this is Summoner's War. So let's move on to the next one. So both players going for a control cleave style team. Player on the left-hand side just lost the match for themselves. And at level 22, Fami, because that's exactly what we want to see. We're going to see our true potential level 22. Okay, strips everything. Well, they had 2 strips anyway. Absolutely. Lands it on all of the wind units. I wonder if this level 22 Fami is going to wind up being, biting her in the rear end at some point later. Well, they could have already killed there with the Fami if she was not level 22, but the units are dead anyway. Wait a second, this Shungpung is not cooled. Shungpung is not cooled down. Let's see how deadly that could be. Charlotte's not cool. I mean, there's no cooldowns on the field. I was like, oh, he's gonna get a turn. He has his skills. Oh no, this is not gonna go well. Oh no. And level 22 Fami is down. And they just concede. Oh my god. This was basically in the bag. So this is the same player as we saw in the first match. Again, with the Liesel. I really appreciate the Verisa and the Liesel, because Verisa is actually an underrated pick too. People were picking her for a while, but I think when she first came out. But let's see. Lunar Eclipse. It's a great choice against Vertiheal. So he's got 2 revenge sets. And if he does revenge, he's got the glancing on him. So it's a pretty decent option against Vertiheal and some other things that have counter mechanics in them. This is going to be another Liesel spotlight. Liesel Verisa. Solid team. So speed cleave on the left-hand side. And then they start picking. They've got 2 speed leads. They have 2 super fast Swift units. So I would imagine Tableau is going to be on Swift, but he's not going to be nearly as fast as the Ethna and the Sekhmet. And they have the speed lead too. It's just a base speed. It's a base speed issue. Those things are very hard to outspeed. And I don't see Fami lasting very long, to be honest. All things in nature. Yeah, it's telling me it's over without telling me it's over. So 2 fast control teams. Helena, okay, Helena and Fami. Bans the speed lead on the right-hand side, which means turn 1 goes to the left. And let's see how this goes. Defend Fami, of course, she's the squishiest one. They didn't go for skill 3, they went for skill 1, which has the chance to stun. Hold on, Helena doesn't get stripped either. Helena could be a big, this is not going to be a Fami spotlight, this is going to be a Helena spotlight. Tell me this is not, and she got buffed in the balance patch too. We didn't really talk about it, but we talked about it in the video, but the balance patch video. But yeah, we didn't do a video specifically dedicated to Helena, but she is a little bit better now than she was before, and she's resisting everything. And she's gonna solo the team. Well, Fami's dead. Helena's gonna solo, isn't she? Helena's gonna solo. This is a Helena solo video. I may as well put Helena in the thumbnail. Just for this one match. Oh, I thought she was going to. I mean, it's over. GG. Control cleave on the left-hand side like we saw before. Picks the Helena instead of the Liesel. And Helena gets banned out. Right-hand side. Right-hand side looks like it's me on a lazy day. Oh, they have will runes. It can't possibly be me. Actually, I do think I have will runes on those units. So, no strips. Nana's going to move next with the AoE defense break. It's going to be nasty. And then Leica shit. Well, we'll see if they can deal with Leica first. I don't think Fami's going to deal with Leica, yeah. Something's dying in a second. Because that glancing does not matter on Leica anyway. They cleansed it off, but it didn't really even matter. So it's now 6v3. And Fami didn't even get a chance to really do too much of anything. They have no defense break now, so it's going to be rough, yeah. Now we're going to compare Fami to Chris, the other light magical archer. They have the same skill 1, same skill 3. Skill 2, though, is not an AoE for Chris. Skill 2 is single target damage based on speed. She's going to move now. That is actually the skill 2, not the skill 3. Skill 3, again, it's the same. If it doesn't stun, a single target, if it doesn't stun, she gets another turn. And now she can use light arrow again. They were hoping to kill that Nepthys, obviously. But yeah, I think a lot of people might initially feel like, oh, everyone has Fami now. Chris, my light magical archer that is similar to that, is going to have no value. I think people are still going to continue to use Chris in these single target speed snipes versus because Fami just doesn't do the same thing with the skill 2. Is not as much damage as the Chris is, and the whole point of those comps is to do as much damage as possible. I mean, they might use Fami instead, but I still think that that Chris is going to get used. So is she gonna? Well, not if that happens. Chris is going to disappoint people if that happens. But the whole point of that is to snipe things out. It's not to control. It's to actually snipe things out as soon as possible. And goodbye, Chris. No, not goodbye, Chris. Well, we don't have to see the whole match. Before we go back to Fami, I want to see another Chris match so we can compare and contrast some more. Leo's going to get banned here. There's 3 units that are damage based on speed on the battlefield. So, can they strip? Can they defense break? Can they snipe? Really appreciate that attack gauge indicator. So, light arrow. That's the skill 2. So they opted for the skill 2 over the skill 3. Mega Smash, and gets not activated. Because of course, okay, critical arrow. Gets the stun. I think they were hoping to not get the stun, to be honest. I think they were hoping just for the killing as much as possible option. Let's see if this is going to be a Manon spotlight. I have this feeling that this is going to be a Manon spotlight. I was surprised that they went for the Tessarion first there. I thought they were going to go for the Fami first. I mean, not the Fami. The Chris. It's a Fami video. The Chris. Yeah, I do this all the time. You know I do this. I'm sure you've noticed it plenty. So let's see if the... Yeah, I don't think we're going to see too much from Chris here. But this might be a Savannah spotlight. Let's go back to Fami. We got to see what a little bit more of what Chris can do. So same cleave on the control cleave on the left-hand side. And right-hand side's got the Sonya, which is going to be pretty nasty. And a Destiny, too, which is going to be pretty nasty. Sonya's going to move next. And she's going to kill Oliver. Yep. This is not going to do enough. It's already 6v3. And 3 of the opponents have will runes, so I don't see this working too well. Okay, gets a free hit there. Doesn't really do much. And Sheng Peng is, as soon as Sheng Peng does something, it's Sheng Peng. Sheng Peng is, just finishes everything off. Yeah, that's, Fami is not going to come back from this. I'm sorry. Sorry to disappoint you, but this is like 7-2 at this point. And it's now 7-1. Fantastic. So we got to see a little bit more of what Fami can do, but honestly, she's not even supposed to be an RTA unit in the first place. She came out 9 years ago and she's a Nat 3. If you're expecting crazy things, you really shouldn't have been expecting crazy things. The best thing about her, the biggest thing about her, is she's the only unit in here that has the crit damage leader skill. That is really her big shining moment. I wonder if we see some more units in the future this year in this year in Summoner's War, or maybe next year that have crit damage leader skills. Would be very interesting, but I guess we'll wait and see. Anyway, that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you as always in the next one.